All right, sound check. Looks like sound is working. Looks like you guys can see. All right. So, I only got a little bit of time because we're having our Linux systems administration group shortly. So, I'm just kind of hopping on for a minute before to run through. I'm going to clean up the documentation that we have, this HPC systems engineering that I did last year. And man, it's been over a year. And I'm going to go through and update this to make a more current version. And then I'll probably put the current version up on stream, I don't know, next week or so. Maybe. I never know how long anything's going to take me anymore with all the college work and teaching and stuff I'm doing. But, and I've bitten off way more than I should have. Oh man, this Linux systems administration is not bad in itself, but it's like I can already tell with like the grading and keeping track of things that I have definitely went over what I thought I was going to have to do. I thought we were going to have like 40 or 50 people, and we're up to 163 people right now. So that's a pretty big number. JBricks Quartz One, how's it going over on the Twitch side? I am not on camera just because I don't want to move my stuff around in my room, my green screen and stuff. But I figured I'd hop on for a few minutes. Probably got about an hour, and then I'll relax a little bit, and then we'll start that group. So we got about an hour and 20 minutes or so until the actual group is going to start down in our Discord. So I just figured I'd hop on and do a little bit of cleanup, maybe talk about some HPC stuff in case people are kind of interested in that. Before I get to some of this other stuff. So actually, you know, I've got links I want to add in some of this. So let me, just as I go through this, I want to find, there's some stuff near the end. Hold on. That I know I want to add. Weather application. Yeah, that's all good. So I have another thing I definitely want to add here, which is the, what's it called? The library. Upcoming seminars. Definitely. What? Library. Hold on. So this page right here apparently can't be. Hold on a second here. That's super weird. All right, library. Huh. Apparently that link will work. So there's a the library noaa.gov. Some of you guys have seen me pull this up before. I'll just make sure that it's working though. Yeah, I should change the password this week. I haven't done it yet, but I need to. Quartz One. So anyways, if you guys haven't been here for this, NOAA has a whole bunch of stuff out there for how you guys can use their tooling, how you could gather weather data if you wanted to. When I worked with NOAA, they were gathering over 2 million sensors a day. We're feeding data into those systems. So you can imagine they have a large amount of data, and they have a bunch of free seminars that you can go to. So I'm always telling you guys about that. That's like data science-y type stuff. But I wanted to add that here so that it's like more things that people can do. What other things? I think, do I have? I don't have it here. So what I need to do, where else do you go from here? Open source. We do have an HPC environment, technically, but we'll get rid of that because that was for that specific talk. Let's add in open source. Let's put a couple of open source programs that are up here that are available to use. Move that in a little bit. And let's go find, there's a couple of HPC ones. So HPC SFIO. So if you guys have never heard of these guys, the High Performance Software Foundation, this was launched by the Same people that do the Linux Foundation. So they're the ones that do a lot of system type work, and they announced this last year. Maybe it was yeah, it was late last year. Linux Foundation announced the intention to implement, and then they're still kind of forming and storming and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put them in here because I think that they're a valuable... Man, I wish I could get this stupid thing to... All right, there's one. And then the other one is Ubuntu, HPC. They actually have a big HPC blog as well. I'll pull that up over here. And they are working to kind of standardize HPC around some of their stuff. So I'm going to include that as part of this talk in the future, right? This is not for now. We're not really doing the talk right now. We're just kind of hanging out while I'm waiting to do the Linux Systems Administration course in a little bit. But anyway, so this is my talk on high performance compute. We did this last year. Let's go ahead and close that down. And let's say that this is going to be updated for 2024, right? And I'll do this talk probably sometime this week again, just so we have it. I actually have this one recorded on our disc or on our YouTube from when we originally did it. But you know, what is high performance compute? What do we consider to be high performance compute as opposed to just like large data or big data lakes and those kind of things? And then what are the different things that we need to do to get into that space, right? This is what I technically do. I mean, I'm a Linux engineer. I've been doing Linux forever, but what I do is build big clusters for government, right? That's what I do. I build government clusters. I build specifically a couple of things which I need to add to this. So let's go down to system skills. None of that stuff's changing. That's all still the same. You need to know how to do that. But concepts and technologies, the cluster management systems, I'm going to add a couple that I've been using lately. So Werewolf. And I'm going to say this about Werewolf. So let's pull up Werewolf. Here's werewolf.org, right? And we'll grab that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that the hyperlink. So let's go here and say, turn this into, what? Get out of there. That is how they spell werewolf. That is not me misspelling werewolf. Let's add a link here. Where's the link at? Link. Boom. And the link will be to that address. Boom. There we go. Clean as we can make it, right? All right, so anyways, we come over here, and what is Werewolf? It's an open source tool for building up a bunch of containerless nodes typically. But let's go see, do they have, I just want like if they have a description of it. I want their main user documentation. I'm in here all the time. But what do they call Werewolf? This is how Werewolf operating system platform. Yep, there we go. Boom. Been around since 2001. Some of you guys have seen me use it down in the lab, and that's fine. All right, we're going to change that up, make it this. Boom. All right, the next one is Bright. Now, Bright Cluster is an interesting one because it used to be NVIDIA, right? It used to be Bright Computing, and then Bright got bought by NVIDIA. So let's go pull up, man, I did a lot with this one recently on some projects. So let's go Bright Computing, let's just say HPC, right? Let's see if we can find Bright Cluster Manager. Let's do this. Enables customers to deploy compute clusters. One of the things about Bright that I would say, as far as a tool here, is this tool really is designed for you not to need a person like me, for you to not need a systems administrator or systems engineer. The Bright cluster is really kind of designed for like Joe everybody to build their systems. And they kind of mention this, university researchers, people that want to have like a really nice tooling but don't know all the under the hood Linux. Now, some of the stuff that I had to do on my last project, it helped that I know the under the hood Linux, but I didn't really need it because bright computing, you need to kind of know how all this stuff works. So yeah, so I've done some of their more powerful recent cluster builds for this, but I need to see, this isn't the actual tooling here, or this isn't bright. Let's see if we have, this is just a generic company for it. Maybe let's click on bright computing here. Let's see what they have in here. They were bought by, again, we talked about this, they were bought by NVIDIA. More 700 customers. It should say right here that they were just bought. Should say it somewhere. If anybody updated it. Doesn't look like anybody's updated it. Maybe this just got bought from Bright. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe they still exist as their own company. I don't know. Here's NVIDIA's take on it. So they bought Base Command as well, so people aren't sure if they're going to move forward with Base Command or Bright, which is one of the things about NVIDIA that people are kind of watching still. So this is their Base Command, Base Commander, but they also own Bright. So yeah, so it looks like they're including that going forward, so they probably don't do much with the Bright stuff anymore. So that's interesting. Okay. I know that I have the documentation on it, so Bright Admin Guide. That's the one that I have right there, the Bright Admin Manual. Right. Boom. We'll just link that. That's good enough. So grab it right here. And right click, link. Drop the link in, and boom, that becomes the link right there that people get when they click on there. Yeah, Robodom, I need to actually, right as we get ready to go, I'm going to put the new worksheet up, and I'm going to put the new lab up. I'm just kind of, it's me kind of relaxing for a few minutes before we go on with the talk over there. I'm just kind of working on some other stuff. Went and got some food a little while ago, got the truck washed. It's only supposed to get to like 89 in Phoenix today, which is like super nice for us. It's like summer's almost done. So we can hope. We can 100% hope that summer's almost done. And then Abdenor, hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Thanks for the follow. 89 is cool for Phoenix, that's for sure. Yeah, we've been over 100 all this last year. Scheduler, Slurm, Platform LSF. I probably should go look at more of those. Networking, this stuff's all still pretty accurate. I'm going to be talking to, so my boss has a whole lot of old lab equipment that he uses for just building out and making sure that we have the ability to handle some of our different customer stuff. But sometimes he has older computers that are no longer warranted and stuff, and I'm going to see about maybe getting them for the professional Linux users group going forward so I can have some of these high-speed back-end networks, because I know he gave away a bunch of switches a few months ago, and I didn't know about it, or I would have asked him to donate them to us, and then we could have had some high-speed networking for storage. But as it were, we just keep using the slow systems that we have in our labs, but that's fine. They're slow, but they can still do Linux. That's the main thing, right? So, all right, shared storage, Lustre, GPFS. I need to add one. There's one that's been kind of growing lately, and it's called Weka. And this is... Dell has actually created Weka, and if you guys haven't heard of Weka or played with it, the way Weka's working is like this. Let me get out of here. Weka.io. So Weka is coming from Dell, and it is designed to be a high-speed NFS that can do both UDP and TCP mounting, and it's actually it's pretty freaking slick, man. I've seen this thing move fast, because what it does is on your machine it stands up a container, and then after it stands up that container, the containers are used to mount the software. Insert link here, and the containers then mount, and then it actually binds. Oh, don't want to show that yet. And then it binds the binds cores to it, and it's super fast. super fast. It does take some of the resources of your system though, because and that actually causes problems with some of your schedulers and stuff. But Weka has some pretty interesting. Do you guys need those links? Let me pop those links down here if people need them. There's the Weka.io links if you guys need to go read about it. But what is Weka? Yeah. We need to be able to access the data faster, right? And that's kind of what the data sheet on Weka says. Let me go see if I can find. Hold on real quick. Let's pull this up. Where is... I just need to know if they have like the quick... There's a quick little data sheet on it, right? Shows some of the speed, some of the... Each disk can be just 3.84 terabytes, but then we can manage to get an aggregate of whatever petabytes, right? So raw storage can be 31 terabytes and 51... Oh, those are, yeah, terabytes, 51 terabytes in a system. That's pretty good. The systems I'm working on have typically between like 8 and maybe 30 petabytes, depending on what we're doing. And that's in the aggregate. That's not on an individual node. This is a specific machine. This one individual machine here. I have some examples of it, but I need to see. I want to see if they've got a little what it does. Hold on. Let's see if we've got a Weka. Let's see if we got a Weka admin guide, because typically within an admin guide, we can get a real good little, here's an introduction, but sometimes we can get a good drawing. Somebody will have, it's a distributed network, efficient component, yeah, sure, all that stuff. But let's see if somebody's got an architecture of it. That's kind of what we want. Let's open image in a new tab and then zoom in. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. All right, fair enough. Yeah, so we mount it as a WekaFS, and the WekaFS gets mounted through, again, a container on the machine, and it's pretty performant, we've found. But as with all things, they have some problems. You always got to figure out how your data read ahead is working, how fast to your first byte when you're trying to read something out of a big file. So there's all kinds of things that have to be kind of proven out, right? So hold on, I'm looking here for... I just want to see if they have... What I'm trying to find here is like just a documentation page. Do they have just a base like system architecture of like what Weka looks like? I don't need any of this shit popping up in my face. Don't need to ask about this. System overview, that's fine. That's probably what I want. Don't want their document revision history. Okay without all that. Introduction. Here's what it calls it. It redefines storage solutions with software-only approach compatible with standard AMD or Intel. And then, yeah, here's what we need. Fully distributed parallel file system. We always want parallel file systems in high-performance compute because we need that throughput. We need to be able to shotgun data out and bring it in as fast as we can. That's fine. We'll take that. That's a good enough explanation. Dell AI proprietary. Right, and then there's our little write-up of it. Now I'm gonna move. Hold on. I'm gonna move this. If I can find where my damn mouse is. There we go. Move that up a little. Move that up a little. And move that down a little. Alright, there we go. Give even a little more space there. Alright, there we go. So we got a little more useful data on there. So we got to get more data on that page. Alright. Air gap tooling, right? HPC systems are slack in their application path. That tends to be true, but we can still have add in patching security topic. So add in some patching. So I'm going to add in some patching and security because I always tell you guys about how I do patching and how I do security, and I think that that's useful. Then we get down here to HPC tooling, And one thing I probably need to add to this, I probably need to add, monitoring's huge. Let's add in how users connect. And I'll add that as a topic. And then we'll also add in under tooling, going to make a new topic for Spack. So if you guys have never seen Spack, Spack is this pretty cool little tool that it's just super useful. In fact, some people on my team actually help develop it. I don't, but so what Spack is, Spack.io, is it's a package manager for supercomputers, right? And what it is like, so you have 5,000 machines, and I've told you guys before, I'm mostly the guy that's working down in like the engine room, keeping the servers the same and all this stuff. But what about the software being the same? What about like the deployed binaries for Python and R and C and C++ and these things that like somebody's going to kick off a job from the scheduler node, and all 150 machines that their job's going to run across in parallel needs to have the exact same version of Python with the exact same libraries and all that stuff. And you might say, well, that sounds really easy. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds really easy, but that's not super easy. That's not as easy as you might think, especially when systems come in different generations, and software has different underlying, there's just so many things that can be different about an operating system, right? So what Spack does is it's a package manager, and you can deploy all kinds of stuff with it. So I could just say, hey, I want this whole supercomputer that I have with 10,000 nodes to have this new package on it. Like I need this one Perl 5.8 5 module to do this one thing. And you might say, Perl, why would you ever need Perl? Well, sometimes you do. Sometimes something has some old thing like that. One of the examples that I can give is there's a tool we use across a lot of big clusters called GPFS. And GPFS, this is wild to me, right? I even have GPFS mentioned in here as part of this storage. GPFS is wild to me because when you go to install it, it will not install without a tool called KSH, right? Will not install. And I guarantee you KShell is not installed on most Linux boxes by default, right? So then you go, well, then how do you get it there? And you're like, well, I install it, But their installer requires KShell to be there. Is it required at any other time ever after that? Nope. Not a requirement for GPFS. It is a requirement for the GPFS installer, though. Isn't that wild? You could take it off after. Anyways, my point is Spack is great for that kind of stuff, making sure everything's exactly the same. And as with all things in life, they are looking for more contributors. So they are. Let's see. When's the last time somebody worked on this? I'm pretty sure they've been pushing even hours ago. It looks like a week ago. But one of our guys is a big part of this project because he believes in it so much. One of our guys at work. What is his name? I forget his name. But anyways, the point is, you want a project. Also, why am I back in light mode? Oh, I'm not signed in. Okay. I was going to say, why am I look in dark mode normally. I don't know why this is in light mode, but I'm not lined in. But they use this Spack tool all kinds of places. Actually, I'd never seen their little logo before. That's a pretty cool little logo. I like that. And that's also very accurate to what it is. Yeah, I'm burning everybody's eyes out. I know. Don't worry, in the actual talk, I'm in blue mode. So in the talk that we're going to do here in a little bit, I'll be in blue mode. So you guys don't have to worry about that. All right. What else do we have? Thanks for the follow, Chiron N. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We are just sitting here for a minute. I've probably got another 30 minutes here, and then I'm going to hop off and relax a little bit, and then we're going to run the Linux users group. We're going to run the Linux System Administration course. We're doing a 16-week course in our Discord. It's free. We got 163 people signed up for it last time I checked. And what you got to do, if you go in there, is you hop down in the projects and you just start the course. It started last Saturday. We've got recordings on YouTube's about it. On YouTube. It's free. Let me go check here real quick. Under the events, we've got 164 people say they're coming to it. We had 90 people in our Discord last week. We broke Discord. I loved it. But we're going to be in a stage mode. So I'll be able to talk to you guys, and we'll do some hands-on, and we'll do some administration, and we'll think about what it takes to be an administrator. I'll talk a little bit today about how that differs from being an engineer. We want to be engineers eventually, but we learn system administration because we never kind of moved away from it. Yeah, Colchis, it got a lot better once I got into the stage, right? Kiwi Bites, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just hanging out, not working too hard. But Colchis, I think it got a lot better when I got into stage mode, I think. And that's where we're going to be today. We'll be down in the stage. So I think that should be good. Also, fun fact, I may turn around and just do the recording for it tonight. So I may be back on here tonight doing the recording, because I normally have said that I would do the recording on Sunday mornings, but the wife's out of town. So since the wife's out of town hanging with the grandbaby, I'm like, well, I've got nothing else to do. And it's that, or hang out and watch a movie here or something, or work on this stuff, or maybe, you know, build out some lab or something. I got some stuff I can do from work too. I don't want to do work though, right? Take Saturday off, just hang out with you guys. So I might be back on later recording it. So Kiwi Bites, I'm good. I'm really good. The grandbaby's doing good. Since the wife left, she left on Thursday night, or well, Thursday afternoon. I went. We had the garbage disposal break, so our garbage disposal was busted, and I'll post it up in Discord. You guys want to see? You guys want to see pictures of me fixing a garbage disposal? I guess I don't really have pictures of me fixing it. I just have pictures of me having fixed it. So, Traffic King, thanks for the subscription.
Smiley face.
8 strong smiley face. There we go. Oh, that's funny. It says smiley face if I do a smiley face. That's funny. So I could just say smiley face. Can I say smiley wink? Smiley wink? Does that make a little smiley wink face? Me and my buddy always joke around about, did you just send me a smiley wink? What are you trying to say there? And then we get all, I mean, as inappropriate as friends that have known each other since 7th grade, who are now in their 40s. But, you know, we've been good friends all our lives. So, Mint, it's a little different than NixOS. So Spack is designed. Let's pull up Spack again. Spack is designed to overlay the top of the hot mess that gosh, because like, guys, listen, high performance compute systems sometimes are a big hot mess of old. Oh yeah, we do the pause thing, Trafficking. We're like, wait a minute, did you just send me a smiley wink? And then we're like, wait. And then, you know, and then it's all awkward, but it's still funny. No, so what Spack does, Spack overlays whatever kind of systems you have. So you may have different, yeah, here, let's go look at it a little bit, down in like the docs and stuff. It's really cool. You just bring it down. So you say Spack, bring it down, and then you basically just deploy whatever tooling you want, right? And you do that across all your systems. For us on the systems administration side of things, we do that with like pdish, or just a shell command, or Ansible to hit all of our systems, right? There's a bunch of ways to hit all of our systems, and we will push it out there. And then Spack can have mirrors. You can even have internal only mirrors of repos that you want, and then you go. Yeah, well, Robodom, and the guy I'm talking about there is Jared. So you guys all know Jared, the people that have been around. But look, now you can drop Spack and do all these different things. You want to do like a little test environment. There's all kinds of stuff that Spack can do for you and verify that things are working. You want to make sure all your compilers are the same. You want to make sure that everything's there. Yeah, I imagine a Nix package manager is very similar to that, Mint. Yes, I would imagine. So, yeah, hopefully this stuff is good. Yeah, Doc, I with the Linux system administration course, Doc was saying like right before the deadline. Yeah, look, I want you guys to get more into, you know, doing stuff throughout the week and feeling. And I actually have a question about that. It's funny, Doc, you say that about waiting all the way to the end. If you look at the discussion questions, the first one is, did you get everything you needed to done? Like, how do you need to allocate more time? Like, do you need, like, how well did you take notes? Because we're going to talk about notes a little bit today. So I wanted to have you guys talk about like what what's going on. And then unit discussion 2 is up, which is read a blog, check search engine, or ask about AI, or ask an AI about SELinux, and then understand what significance is of context and what are labels. And then I say follow your company instructions to add a new user. Oh yeah. So anyways, so this is like a little scenario. I should put probably scenario on the front of that. Hold on. Can I edit this? Maybe I can't edit it right now. I don't know. But you there's a scenario here where you do something and then there's still a problem. What are you checking, right? And that's actually going to come into part of my discussion today. Was there was a pretty good point made yesterday about I was running through and trying to fix something that I was building, and building things are different than when you're troubleshooting a running system. Building things are new, so they've never worked before. A running system presumably worked at some time before this. So a lot of times with a running system, you're not really changing a lot of things. You're looking for what the differences are. You're looking for what conditions changed. So that's kind of an interesting point that is going to come up in our talk today. I've got a whole bunch of those. But anyways, the point is Spack has all this stuff. It can do all these different build systems, and it can push all these things for you. Maybe you're using Octave. I think Octave is that one that does, isn't that thing, or Octave, Octave. Isn't that the one that runs similar to MATLAB? I think it is. Might be wrong about that. Octave or Octave, yeah. I've heard it called both. I think it's just Octave. But this is the one I'm pretty sure that does something like that. But anyways, Spack is a good tooling. I have it. I don't think I have it here. Oh yeah, HPC tooling Spack. We'll talk about Spack. Right. So we'll have that in here. And then the other HPC tooling stuff that I have is, other things that we add, other ways that we do that, the way we give access, how users connect. There's open source tools like what's called Open On Demand. And with Open On Demand, you get the ability to give users connections into your systems, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of good valuable things. Yeah. So, all right, where's our time at? We're at 3:32 minutes. I try to do at least an hour anytime I come on. So let's go look through this. Let's see if there's any other thing that we have to add to this as like part of the talk. So it's what is HPC? How is it used? What industries? You can't even. There's too many industries to list, but I mostly give the ones that I've worked in case people have questions. System skills you need. HPC concepts, and then we break down a bunch of HPC concepts, and that's pretty much the whole talk. I don't have security in here strictly speaking, but I probably should, and I don't have that last little bit. I probably should have that access one as part of it too. But maybe we'll leave it here for now, and then I'll play with it after I get done kind of updating and stuff. Maybe we can implement a leader of completed labs or tasks throughout the week. Still thinking about some incentivization system. Yeah, traffic. We should we can talk in the group. Maybe after I cut everybody loose, we'll hang out and talk. But one of our guys has put together a really slick little version of what's going to be the site, like the website probably, and then that website, it's pretty slick. It will show the people who have completed the projects, but maybe we add in a few things and we talk about just having like a leaderboard, and then maybe as I update grades and stuff, I can just upload them there, and then people can know what I have them for. And you might say, well, but I don't want everybody to see my business. And I say, yeah, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll take everybody and we'll give them a number. So then it'll be like, it won't be Traffic King. It'll be like A87412, and you would know that that's you, right? So, yeah, anyway, so that's not far away from what Treasure has already put together. Yeah, Treasure's got some pretty cool stuff. already put together. I'm not going to probably make him talk about it this week, but he asked to talk about it, so I'm probably going to introduce the projects next week, like the idea of what you guys are doing for your projects, and I will have him show that because that's his project. He's actually it's a slick website, guys. Like it looks really good. It's really nice. And then you go in and you say, this person gave me this, authentication string, this token string that said that they had completed the 16-week course with the Professional Linux Users Group. And if you put that string in and it's correct, then it'll come back and say, yeah, RoboDom finished this on this date. And it has their name. Well, whatever name they want on there. It's pretty slick. He built it mostly in Go and containerized. So then I'm going to probably have a meeting with him and Fisherman, and we'll slap it together and put it up on a page. Because I already have, you guys know I already have all the website stuff. I have all the web addresses for Prolug. I don't have Prolug.com, though. That's the one I don't have. But I have Prolug.org and Prolug.net. So, yeah, I think it'll be cool. I just want like a little, shoot, most of the page can be static, but I just want it to be there for people to know, like, hey, the engineers that have been here and or people that want to come to the site and hang out and find a link to the Discord. It's pretty slick. Maybe I'll have them show it today. It depends how much we get through. Because I've got quite a bit of stuff to do and talk about and show you guys today. So systems administration is a lot of work, right? Like we don't just fall into it accidentally. Well, some of us fall into it accidentally, but then we want to be good at it. So we got to spend some time to actually focus and be good at it. So Traffic King, whatever that is, didn't come through. So you might have to put it in Discord for me. But anyways, yeah, guys, the main reason I'm on right now is to let you guys know that if you hop in our Discord, we've got an event coming up in about, it says 47 minutes, so it's coming up. And we've got 164 people say they're coming. We had 90 people there yesterday, or last Saturday. And, yeah, it's starting in 47 minutes. So I'll get off of here in a few, and then we'll go in there, and we'll be down in the chat talking. And then the Code Cove, I think... I don't know if I don't see it on here, but I'm pretty sure Salty said he wants to push this back 2 hours. So for you guys, this is me on the West Coast, on Pacific time right now. I'm pretty sure he moved it from 4 to 6. Yeah, Mint. That's pretty good. That's about average for me. 1K. That's not nearly as good as like when I get. I mean, I really like when we had one video that blew up to 200 something thousand views. That was kind of my favorite video. Yeah, Mint. Yeah, we're hopefully we're getting people that want to do this. We've been having tremendous growth. We're almost to 3,000 people on Discord. I told you guys that this will always be free. Like, we're gonna make this as free as possible. The only thing that anybody that hangs out with us has to ever pay for is the ads on Twitch that you have to watch. That's about it. YouTube, you got the ads on YouTube you got to watch. So, yeah. So you guys are welcome to hang out and talk shop. And man, one of the things that's really come out of the class that I think is cool, and I really hope you other guys like this too, is that you guys are finding that there's other people that want to do the same stuff as you, right? Like, we're all a Linux group. We're all a bunch of guys that hang out and do Linux, guys and gals, I'm sure. Although the YouTube numbers say that 98.5% of people that watch me are guys, so that's fun. I told the wife, I'm like, I'm not picking up any teeny boppers or nothing. I'm just getting this stuff. But I'm just getting a bunch of dudes watching me. But anyway, so the thing is, I forget where I was going with that, but. Yeah, the goal is to get you guys in here doing this stuff, and then you're finding other people that are interested. Like, not everybody wants to do Linux. Some of you guys are doing what do you? Some of you guys. Some people are talking about security. Some of you were a lot of you are programmers, right? You do stuff programming professionally, and that's this is a great base though for all the other things you do, right? Like, in fact, one of our guys that I'm going to get to come talk to you is a professional programmer. That's what he does. He codes. He works out of he has like a little he moves around in a van. I'll let him tell you about that. But he's kind of like one of these guys who he goes and he climbs rocks and he lives his life kind of however he wants. He's mostly stationed up in Colorado and drives around, but he works remotely because he's a software engineer. and I'm gonna get him to come talk to you guys a little bit. Yeah, he's like a digital nomad. That's a perfect term for it. I remember when he was still building out his van, and he probably show you some pictures of the van. But he's one of the guys that built some of the stuff in our Discord, specifically the bot, not the bot that Fisherman uses. Fisherman's a different bot, but he does the one that that does the jackets. So if you guys remember the golden jackets. Also, yeah, if you like rock climbing, a couple of our guys, one of our guys is a pro. He's a professional. Like he coaches kids and coaches adults, and he used to compete, I think, him and his wife. So if you guys ever talk to Sending Grounds, that's what he does. He used to stream a little bit, but ever since he moved, I think, and then they had a baby, he hasn't been streaming much. But he's came and talked to the group, and some of you guys know him. In fact, he just posted a picture in Discord about him up on a rock. Hold on, I don't think I'm breaking any things by showing this. Like, I don't think I'm. He did sports and outdoors. Yeah, he was up rock climbing somewhere. So that's Sending. If you guys don't know him, he's one of our kind of senior guys. He's been around, man. He's been around a long time too, and he just hit 7 years with one of Fang. So he's been 7 years with one of those. So like, if you guys want to talk to somebody about getting in there, he's actually coming to talk to the group in a couple of weeks as well, and he's going to do Bash programming, because he programs in Bash, not scripting. He does programming in Bash, so it's a little more advanced functions and checks and all that stuff. So there you go. Yeah, some of you guys know I do one of the other sports that's really good for grip strength. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I do a sport that's very, very much about how you grip and hold things, and you learn the way your hand works. A lot of people don't know your thumb and your index finger, if you squeeze those two together, right, and you try to hold something with that, you'll find that your index finger and your thumb are actually quite weak. But then when you want to grab onto something, you actually roll up the last three fingers of your hand, your pinky, your ring, and your middle finger, and those form the basis of most of your grip. So if you're doing that with your hand right now, try to grab a pen really, really hard between your thumb and your forefinger, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, these things are weak as shit. But then grab like a piece of fabric or something and roll it up in the last three fingers of your hand, your pinky, your ring finger, and your middle finger, and you'll find, wow, that is a tremendous amount of grip. I have a tremendous amount of grip in those last three fingers of my hand, and that is how guys that do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu feel like they have a really good grip, is they know how to grip people. If I get a hold of something, like, I mean, I don't fight anymore, right? But when I was younger and I was a bouncer and when I was in the infantry, if I get a hold of something, it is either ripping or it is coming off of you. It is not coming out of my hand. And that's not like me trying to brag. That's just like simply I know how to grip, right? And, I'm black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if anybody doesn't know that. That is a brag, but that's also a thing I've done, so it's not really bragging, right? Anyway, and if you want to know what that means, go look up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It is not easy to get a black belt in it. It took me 17 years. So it takes some people longer, it takes some people shorter. I'd say the average is probably about 10, 12 years. Most of those guys are in their 20s, though. Most of them started earlier. But anyway, so what are we doing? We're getting ready for this group, right? The group is very serious. I try to stay on topic, but we do a lot of Linux systems administration stuff. Oh, judo is big, too. I learned some of my best grip breaks from judo guys. I trained one time with the judo national champion for 2016 out of Iceland, and he was their national champion. He showed me some really good judo grip breaks that I still use for when I compete. So anyway, so Linux system administration, automation, right? We just got to know how to do things, right? And the Linux systems administration course that we're doing is not about the individual tasks. I have you guys, like, I have all these labs and I have all this other stuff for you guys when we do normal day-to-day things. I try to get you to learn as many like basic tasks, like create a file and check a date and look at a log, and those are like discrete tasks. But like the Linux system administration course is kind of trying to make you more, it's less about the tasks and it's more about the everything that we're doing to do that for a company, do that professionally, like to do that to keep a fleet of servers moving in the direction that they need to go, right? It's not like just so you guys know, if anybody's like on the fence about I don't really want to go to the group because he's just going to be more of these task. It's a lot less about the tasks. We do tasks, but it's more of like us doing things and talking about the systems administration side of things. So hopefully, and some of you guys were here for last week, and you could probably say like, yeah, the goal is not to just make you rote memory do more things, and rote is ROTE in that sense, like learn by rote, right? Not WROTE. So, anyways, yeah, I'm trying to make my closed captioning work right, but it never does. How do I catch up on the course? Because I still don't understand what I should do formally stay in the course. All right, so this is what you got to do, Crosby. In fact, you guys pretty much have the rest of today to do this. So you come to Prolog Projects, and you go to, here's discussion 1, and you go do discussion 1. So people that want to catch up, right? This is how you catch up. Join the Discord. You go to Prolog Projects. Here's discussion 1 right here. I'm probably going to close it tomorrow, right? As far as like, I think once I close it, nobody can talk on there. But anyway, so it's like, go through this. You don't have to actually write up. You don't have to post your rating. You just say to yourself, I think I'm a 9 in Linux. I'm a 4 in storage. I'm like a 6 in security. And whatever your thing is, do it for you, right? Then I say, what do you hope to learn in this course? And what type of career path are you shooting for? And you go and look, we got 97 messages in there. Now you got to do that posting. And then you also have to respond to somebody else. So you got to respond to, man, we had really good talks in here, and people were like hoping to learn about Kubernetes. Some people are really just here for the Kubernetes stuff we're going to do, and some people are here for whatever. But then other people are like, oh, hey, that's really interesting. That's what I do professionally now. And then they start talking. There's been a whole lot of like, I think people are getting to know each other, which I think is good. And then the second one is this: go find a job that's local that you're interested in. And then like, what do you know how to do? What don't you know how to do? And then how are you going to close that gap? And then that one has less submissions on it, but then people were posting like, hey, here's this job I found, and here's the things that I know how to do, here's the things I don't know how to do. But this helps me to kind of like level set what you guys are interested in, right? So that's catching up. That's from last week. Then there's there's a lab for you to do. You can go do the lab. There's a worksheet for you to fill out, and if you don't want to do it in docx format, here it is in just, that's like the most text-based way I can do it. Here's the syllabus. Syllabus tells you what we're doing for the next few weeks. So 16 weeks total. And then I had a primer that we went over last week, so I posted the primer up for you guys. And then now we're in Unit 2. So Unit 2 is, think about how Week 1 went. So some of you are still in Week 1, right? Because you haven't done it yet. And I said, did you get everything you needed to done? Do you need to allocate more time for this course? How well did you take notes? Like, what do you need to improve? By the way, if you say, well, I didn't get to see the lecture, well, there's a right down, where did I put it? I think I put it in beginner start here. There is a section for, here's the playlist for the Linux Systems Administrator course. There's only one thing in there right now. Let me see. Let me go visit. I think there should only be one. Yeah, there should only be one in there right now because it's the only one we've got. All right. So you drop in there, and then now you can watch the first week or whatever. And then you come back here. Where are we at? Prolog Projects. Yeah. And then you start looking at discussion 2, and we're starting to talk about SELinux a little bit. So you can go read a blog, check search engine, or ask an AI about SELinux. What does it mean to have context? What are the significance of labels? We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. And then I say, I need to edit this. Hold on. This needs to say scenario. Right. You follow your company's instruction to add a new user to a set of 10 Linux servers. They cannot access just one of the servers. When you review the differences in the servers that they cannot access, one is running SELinux. On checking other users, they have no problem getting in the system. You find nothing in the documentation, which is very typical, about this different system or how the users are accessing it. What do you do? Where do you check? And I said, you may use online resources to help you answer this. This is not a trick. It is not a one-answer solution. This is for you to think through. So, like, what's your process of, like, what would you do? And if you don't know what to do, then that's a good time to see what other people say, see what I talk about in the class here in a little bit when we're in some of these systems. We've got lab servers for you to go in and look at SELinux and see how it runs, right? So there's all kinds of things for us to kind of mess with. In fact, yesterday, for you guys that weren't around yesterday, these are the things I got done last night We set up SELinux in the Prolog Labs, so now if you go into the Prolog Labs, you'll have access to our, it has SELinux on. Also sent the TempFS up a little more, so you got a little more space. And then I set up a Labs NFS share that you could go put data in if you needed to. Okay, so there's more space, more data. I added 50 more gigs to the Werewolf, so I think we got about 60 gigs of NFS space out there, so that's pretty good. So anyways, that's how you would catch up. That was the question, was how would we catch up, and what would we do? You would go to our Discord, which is free. You would go to the projects section, which is free. Everything's free, if I haven't said that. And then you go in there. The password for Home Lab expires every week. Yeah, Robodom, I'm going to change it here in probably the next few minutes, and then I'll give it out when we're in the class. So, yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing. And let's see. I try to do a full hour typically when I'm on here talking, so I'm going to talk for a little bit longer, and then we'll hop off. But yeah, this is kind of what I think you need to understand on the system side of things. I think I might make a new page of this and add some more system stuff that I think you need to know how to do. We're going to heavily do, for today, without giving too much away, we're going to heavily do networking today. So there's going to be a lot with networking, even though the class, the topic isn't specifically networking, but we're going to learn about our tools, and we're going to do that with networking. So hopefully there's some good value out of it for you guys. So, all right. So that's what we're doing. Mint, you don't need to. You might have to look into how to set up Rocky with SELinux, but on an individual boot node, you really just have to go turn on. You just go to you VI your etc SELinux conf file. It's config file, so it's here. Well, I'll show you where it is. Oh wait, wrong one. Hold on. This guy. So like in Rocky 1, you would cd to etc. Now I'm in Rocky 1, and this is an ephemeral node, so it's not exactly the same. But for you, it'll be, you'll go edit this config file, and you'll just change SELinux from disabled to permissive, and then on your own little machine, you would touch .auto relabel, which would tell the system when it comes back up. The system looks here at the auto relabel. It sees if there's a hidden file in /, and it'll tell the system to auto relabel the whole operating system, or the whole file system for SELinux context and labeling. So that's those are the two things you'd need to do. You could also look up, I'm pretty sure the documentation's pretty good. Let's go see. Let's go here. Look, I was looking at keyboards the other night. Some of you guys were telling me about these different keyboards. But like SELinux enable on Rocky, right? And I think Rocky has a pretty good, the Rocky docs are really good in general, and they show you how SELinux works. So they have, you know, I'm going to add that to the thing for this week. But that's, they tell you about how that, you could set and force, you could turn it on then, but you want to set it for all future, and you got to do the relabeling. You could also relabel live if you want. But that's what I would do typically with a system. Also because I want to see it reboot and come back up working. So that's kind of one of the reasons I'd set it here and then do the auto relabel and reboot. Because for me, the stability of a system after reboot is paramount for all engineering activities. So, but remember, the course that we're going to be doing here in a little bit, we're doing system administration, which is a little different than engineering. In fact, I'm going to talk about some of the differences because somebody had a really good question. I don't know, was anybody here? Who was here last night? I want to say it was Traffic King, if you are still here. But somebody asked me a really good question last night about troubleshooting, so I actually put it into the presentation. I think it was you, Traffic King, but I'm not 100% sure. But the point was like, well, where in our troubleshooting would we be right here in this? And I was like, well, he's got me. Like, I'm not really doing my troubleshooting. But then I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, but hold on. We're not doing administration right now. We're building something new. So then I'm going to make that distinction today and explain how troubleshooting differs whether you're doing administration or engineering. And you might say, well, what is the difference? Well, we're going to talk about it in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So it was you, Trafficking. Yeah, you know what? Just because you're here, I'm going to show you. This was a good thing. You mentioned this yesterday because I was just kind of running around trying to fix things, right? And here's the difference. In engineering, I'm blazing a new trail. I'm building a new thing, right? But in administration, I'm not building a new thing. I'm trying to get something back working again. So in administration of a system, it did at one time work before I got called out on a Saturday night, right? So in engineering, we're getting something new. So your troubleshooting is going to be different. You know, the way you look at what you're doing. In administration, we probably have some type of documentation. But if we don't have a build or a runtime doc, build docs mean as the person put it together, they told us how they built it, and runtime are our operational docs. But if we don't find those as an administrator, we need to write them, because the next administrator or network operations center person or whoever comes along later is going to thank us, because it's probably going to be us in a couple of years anyways. So we might as well document it. And then another thing about administration that's different than engineering is in engineering, I don't have another system to compare it to. I'm building the proof of concept. I'm building the first one. VD. Wait, hold on. Where? Versus. No, that's actually correct, if you don't know. A lot of people do VS, but it's V like that. Like V. One time it worked V engineering. Administration V engineering. Yeah. I learned that when I was very young, not to use VS. A lot of people use versus, and that's fine. But V is V dot is the correct way to compare between two things for an engineer. So yeah, but also we're doing administration, so it's a little different. But anyways, that's part of what we're talking about here in a little bit, right? That's coming up in a few minutes, but. I don't want to give everything away, but that's fine. QB bytes. That may be a way. In fact, I remember when I was younger, people used to write VS all the time, but I remember seeing it in an academic sense, and a lot of people will just use a V. And it still stands for versus this versus that. It is still a contrasting thing, right? A opposition of sorts. But anyways, yeah. So. This is our talk. I was just kind of updating it on HPC Topics. I have this up on YouTube if anybody wants to see the original, and then I'm updating it now for things. Some of these, I don't know if any of you guys have ever messed with these, but within HPC tooling, I've done a lot with like bioinformatics and stuff like that, and there's a whole bunch of tool sets out there that you guys can use where you can go just play around with open what they call FAFSA. Not FAFSA, not like the federal application for student aid, not that. It's fast, and somebody here is probably in bioinformatics. What is it? They're called FAST files, but they're like FASTA. But anyways, they're these types of files that are like this standard implementation. You can probably find them, but these are all tooled for that. And you can go do some pretty cool little projects. In fact, I remember they used to have a page for one of these. I think it was BioPython. They used to have a page that had like 30 different projects that you could just go do. But these are also tools that are useful, like if you go and get into Kaggle and you go download a bunch of like data off of a Kaggle data set, you can use these different tools for this. And I've never used the BioGo or the BioRust, but I've used these two professionally with different engineering projects I've been on. But you can go and you can get in there. FASTA, that's FASTA and FastQ. That's exactly right. Yep. Yeah. So it's FASTA and FastQ. That's it. Yep. And I've used these two with different engineering teams that I've worked with. I've always been the HPC guy, and then I work with the scientists that are the guys that have doctorates in bioinformatics and stuff. But but the things that you guys can do yourselves as engineers, it's vastly more than you could do like 20 years ago. You have all the knowledge and all the power of like going out and doing this stuff yourself, and you just really have to go work on the stuff and start finding stuff that's interesting to you. And one of the ones I always mention, I always bring up with that short rave or with that short thing there is the library.noaa.gov. They have all these seminars upcoming that you can just go jump into and do whatever you want. So. Lamo Glowy, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. I am jumping off of here. We're going to be down in Discord in 25 minutes, so hop down in there if you want. Lamo Glowy, if you sent me it, I have it. And you don't have to post it here or anything, but if you sent it to me, I will check it, and I will probably be reviewing everything tomorrow. Also, if you didn't hear me earlier, I was saying I bit off way more than I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to have like 30 or 40 people, but like I probably have like 40 more in my inbox right now because now we're up to 160 people, and I want to say well over 60 people have turned it in already. So, yeah, Robodom, you know how you said you were going to help me grade? Well, there you go. All right, so we're going to hop off of here. Let's go find somebody to raid on the Twitch side. On the YouTube side, I appreciate you guys coming. Hop down the Discord and go get ready if you want and hang out. And we'll be getting started here in the next 20 minutes or so. Let me find who's on right now. Oh, is my buddy still on? Hold on. I think NPC might still be on. We're going to raid NPC. Guys, if you guys don't know, he is one of my favorite streamers. He built a game called Memori, and he's still working on it. But he also has a really cool little RPG that you play right in the Twitch chat, and he's always working on that. In fact, he's building it right now. So we're gonna raid over there. I appreciate you guys all coming by, and I will see some of you in about 20 minutes. Take care.